Right, hello folks, and thank you for joining us for Trinity Sessions. And on my right, or your left, I don't know which side this is going to go out on, we have our lovely Maz. And Maz has been with us for quite a few years, haven't you, love?
I have, definitely.
How long's it been? How long's it been? Too long?
We worked, no, it's not too long, but it might be for you. No, it worked out just under 3 years, isn't it, since I've been investigating with you as one of your members. Can you still hear me?
Hang on. What did you say?
Sorry. Did you not? It's nearly 3 years since we're together, isn't it?
Right. My video decided to play over this, so I could hear myself talk to you.
Right, okay.
Teething problems.
Well,
right.
It's our first night
exactly.
live, isn't it? So.
Exactly. So, right, give me an intro to you. Who is Maz?
Okay. I'm Maz, going into on my 49th. Well, I'm in my 49th year now, so it's 50 soon. Got into this quite late, as in a paranormal investigator, although I've been interested in it for a long time. Mum of 3, wife, and live in a little semi-detached house on the Wirral.
With a massive garden.
With a huge garden at the dock that Jericho loves when he comes to.
Exactly, and he's snoring away in the background. Right, we will go straight on. Right, okay. So, paranormal.
Yes.
We would not be a team without talking about this. So.
That's what we're about, isn't it?
What got you into it? Where did the love come from?
I've always been interested in the paranormal. But when I was younger, and I think you mentioned somebody wants to know around the age that, I had experiences. Probably around the age of 9 when I saw a full-bodied apparition. So that frightened me at the time. But then as I got older, I thought that's an amazing thing to have been able to witness, because not many people witness that type of thing. So
where did you witness it?
It was on the Wirral, just in somebody's home. And at the time, my mum looked after houses and we were staying over. And it was in this beautiful, beautiful house on the Wirral that I witnessed this. And I think it was because I was not the normal child that was usually in that room. And I think the apparition that came, and it came on, I think it only appeared the once, but it kept on appearing, just as if to say, you're not usually the person that is sleeping here. So I think it was just checking that everything was okay. But
sussing
that was
you out, was it?
What was that?
Sussing you out, was it?
It was sussing me out, but that was a white bodied full apparition.
I don't blame them when it comes to you.
No, it was amazing, absolutely fabulous.
Did you see what it looked like, or?
Yeah, it had no facial features.
Yeah.
But it was definitely an image of it was a woman. She had, it looks like her hair was in a bun, because it looked like she had a bun on the top of her head. She was in like a fitted top, but a very long skirt. And so it looked like she may have been, I don't know whether she may have been the maid of this house or somebody, but it looked as if she was like Victorian time and she was floating. So it was as if she had no feet, because I couldn't see any feet, but she was floating and her arms were crossed like that. And she kept on moving her head from side to side as if, as she said, checking me out. It's like, who are you? But I think once she realised there was no threat and I wasn't doing anything wrong there, just left me alone.
Did you pick up more on the energy or the actual visual?
Right. Initially, it was the energy, because I was in bed, and you know how you can tell when something's near, because even though at that time I didn't, because I was only young, but you know how it can take away the heat and it becomes very cold.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was like. It went very, very cold, and my skin went a bit clammy, as if you're in a fever, even though it wasn't, but my skin was clammy and sticky and it was so cold. And I turned and I saw this light. So she appeared as a light, and then she appeared, then she showed me, her form.
Okay.
So that
So,
was different.
so on your when you do an invest, if
Yeah.
you notice a spirit come near you, has that feeling changed or is it stayed the same? How do you detect?
Okay. I wouldn't say I got that now each time. Now it's more of a sense, more of a feeling. Sometimes I might see an image and it just looks as if it's a bit of a like a spotty image, like a
Yeah.
TV getting turned off. Sometimes it might be a bit like that, so it's distorted.
Okay.
Sometimes I do get the cold spot still. I do feel very cold, as if everything's been sucked out and you're
Yeah.
just left in like with the freezer door open. So I still get that. And I also get little spider senses if everything tingles and
Like the cobwebs and the
yeah,
hairs standing up.
that's it. People obviously explain it differently. So I would imagine everyone who senses it, whether it's like butterfly wings under the skull or, as you say, something crawling or cobwebs. Yeah, so get that kind of feeling.
Okay. So we've been to a lot of places, haven't we?
We have.
In your 3-year history with us.
Well, yeah, I really haven't I?
So for anyone who doesn't know, Maz joined us in July 2017.
Was that a
Newsgym? It was the second Newsgym of our three Newsgym summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
I believe I remember we called it that.
Well, actually, you got me working on one of the guest ones.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We threw in a hoodie and that's how we got you.
That's right.
So, out of all the locations that you've been with us or that you've been on your own, where's your favourite and why?
Okay.
And I know this is a tricky question because it always gets asked and we always say the same thing.
Yeah,
and we pick one.
Yeah, we discussed it before, didn't we? And
We
every
did.
single property has its moments and has its charms. And, there's quite often, something that you can sense in every single one. We went to, did you say it was Prestatin? And it was I did write it down before.
The Gronant Institute.
That one. The Penryn Old Hall.
That was Llandudno.
Oh, that was Llandudno. And that was like a quaint little village pub, wasn't it? And the side that we investigated, or we were invited to investigate, was looked like a bit of a village hall, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I
think there was accommodation upstairs, wasn't there?
I think there may have been, and that was nothing special to look at, to be fair, was it? But I sensed a lot going on there, and I would say that was a pretty good investigation of some of the things that came through. So I was really, really impressed with.
It was a cold one. That's what it was.
Yeah, well, it was. It was. It shouldn't have been. It was so cold there, but it was fabulous. The energy there was phenomenal. Really, really was.
Yeah, because me and you worked on our mediumship skills there, didn't we? Because we got quite a bit. And I know Ian as well got a lot of visual. Yeah, and the piano playing as well, I think there was.
So I think there was up on that little platform.
Yeah.
That was quite a nice place to investigate. A little bit ominous at times, but
it was.
I quite like that sometimes because it gives you really something to get your teeth stuck into, doesn't it? Which is really nice,
especially somewhere we've not been before as well.
Yes, that was good, wasn't it? I also really love so because obviously Trinity, we do the Williamson tunnels quite a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
And more recently started doing the house site, which is where the guy that started the tunnels, he built his home, didn't he, for himself and his family.
He did, and the basements underneath as well.
Yeah, well, going there, the things that we picked up there. But again, the only problem with that was there's no history about these certain things. So even though lots of different groups have gone there and we've gone there, and we may have all connected or picked up on very, very similar things, there's no evidence written.
So there's nothing to just give us the information, is there?
That's it. So that's unfortunate, but it's great that other like paranormal groups have picked up on very similar things, which in a sense is a form of clarification for us, which is really good.
Yeah, because remember, we've picked up on a lot of stuff and heard back from other groups who've got the same, like I won't say too much, but the girls and the children and the two fellas as well. For anyone who doesn't know, Williamson Tunnels is in Edghill. Great team of volunteers who are digging down every week, Wednesday and Sundays, apart from now with the obvious situations. But if you want to go onto their page, it's Friends Trinity Paranormal page. You've got some today. And Maz has now just left me on my own. Where have you gone, love? Yes, we'll try and get her back in a few seconds. For anyone who wants to talk to Maz, please leave a message. Give us a question. Hello.
Sorry. Hello, I lost you.
That was an unplanned solo. Don't do that to me again.
I didn't touch anything, I promise. I didn't touch a thing.
Liar. Right, so we've done favourite location, but I want you to tell me your best piece of evidence that you've witnessed. What's the best thing your eyes have seen?
While on an investigation in itself, or could it be at any point?
Both. Give me both. Come on.
Okay. While on an investigation, I would say okay, this was at Newsham Park, and we were down in the basements.
Yeah.
I think I may have been with you at this time.
Possibly.
We were down in, when you're down in the basements and you walk down that corridor right up to the very end, and you got that room on the right.
Yeah.
Well, we were with the group that we were with, and there was the shadow outside that kept on popping the head round, and it was like a person kept on checking in on us like that. And I think that was quite. Was that
nice. When we had the radio presenters with us?
Actually, yes, it could have been.
Was that the one?
So that was quite good, because it wasn't just one person that saw that. Because we as the team, we try and not give anything to the people with us. And there was somebody else that said, "What is that outside?" And then when we turned and we were all watching, and then we saw as if something was a little bit inquisitive and they wanted to see what was going on. So that was quite nice, because it was a group of people that saw that.
Yeah, it wasn't just us.
Yes, I really I like it when there's more people that see things.
Why do you think they were coming in to know us at us then? What do you think the reason was?
Well, when you think if nobody's been in that building, as in like for normality for such a long while, it could just be down to sheer, curiosity. What's going on and why are people there? And especially if they know and if they know that they are no longer with us, so that they might just want to know what's going on. Why are people there, and what can I get out of it? And some might want to scare you, some might just be interested and want to. Do you know what? Can we really explain that? It's hard, isn't it? It's really hard to explain why they're there. It could be for so many reasons. Sometimes it can be residual, can't it?
Yeah.
In a building, and obviously residual is when it picks up on an energy. So, and it plays back, doesn't it?
It's like the energy in the building. It just plays back the story. It's like a videotape.
It's
the easiest way you can say it.
Which again is phenomenal. What bricks and mortar can do, to a human that was once on this planet and living, that it can play back, So that is phenomenal, really, isn't it?
Well, that energy's got to go somewhere, doesn't it?
That's it. And
so
obviously,
because it seeps into the walls, it might as well give that story back. Right, I've got a question from Lisa. I'll put it on the screen. So Lisa said, if you could investigate anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Oh, wow. I would love to investigate. Oh, it's a house in America and what's it called? Oh, help.
Winchester.
Yeah, the Winchester house. Thank you very much.
God, that's the only house I knew.
I would love to go and investigate that. That would be my ultimate dream. And also, there's an asylum over in America as well that I would really, really like to investigate. And I'm hopeless with names. Can't remember where it is. Lisa will probably know, so she'll probably be able to get something up. But I think there's another.
Don't know, is the one in Philadelphia or somewhere like that?
I don't know where it is, but obviously, because we're into this stuff, we watch it and everything, and it just looks phenomenal. But
telepathically, I know where you're on about. Telepathically, I know. Can't get the name. Right, got another question for you. Okay. Got another question for you, love. Right, Joanne has asked, do you use any equipment on your investigations?
I myself, I might use a K2 meter just to pick up on any energies, so you can talk to the spirit, and hopefully they will go over to that meter and light it up. As a team, we have numerous a bit of equipment, don't we?
We do.
We have tipping boards, so you can ask closed questions to the spirit, so it could go to yes or no. There are spirit boards available, pendulums available, but we are a team. Oh, you have the kinetic, don't you?
We do.
Yes, which can make forms, can't it? So that can sometimes pick up like an energy force or an energy field. But I quite like just using myself, to be fair, and getting your medium,
using your own senses, basically.
Yeah. But okay. Yeah, equipment, there's nothing wrong with equipment, and equipment's fabulous, and we do have some of it available to use if you want to.
Yeah, because we use it basically as a backup to give us confirmation, don't we?
Yeah.
Whereas we always promote using our bodies and the energy and getting it through that way. Talking about energy and communicating, Pauline has asked, how does a spirit become strong enough to communicate, and why do only certain ones come through? Now, this is going to be your opinion, isn't it? Because I might have different opinions. Pauline might have the same. Please take this as an opinion rather than confirmation.
Because confirmation, really, we don't know it as a fact, because it's a pseudoscience. Pseudoscience can't be. We're in a box, aren't we? Okay, but I think a spirit is strong enough when it wants to be. To be fair, I think if a spirit wants to come through, and I think if we dedicate ourselves to wanting that spirit to come through as well, so it's calling upon them, talking to them, wanting to come through, letting them, you showing them that you're here and you really, really want to communicate. I think that could be maybe a trigger for a spirit to come through and become strong enough to communicate. And I think when you've mentioned why do only certain spirits come through, that could just be solely because the loved one or person that has passed on, that they've got nothing more left to do. They were happy with where they were, maybe everything that they wanted to do, they actually did, and so they are happy to move on. But it doesn't mean to say they can't come back and check in on family members or friends as and when they want to. That's my opinion. But go on.
So what about people who stay within a building? So we go out to these places, we investigate. Why would they come back to us? Why would they want to talk to us when they don't know us?
It could be a number of reasons. When you think there's so many teams and so many people with our energies go into these buildings, and to be fair, with utmost respect, we do ask them to come forward, and we've said, please, if you are willing, please come forward, please come and talk to us, because we want to know your story, we want to know your side of things, we want to know your history. So it might just trigger something in them and go, well, actually, I would love to get my story across. I'd love to get across, and tell you who I am and what I am. Doesn't always happen, and it's very hard to get that actual story across. But I think a lot of them might just want want contact, you know, if they haven't had it for such a long time. Some spirits may have passed on and that they've lost themselves, and maybe it'd be nice to think that we as a collective doing these investigations can help them find themselves and help them find that reason of where they want to be, whether they want to be on this plane or whether they want to, you know, be with their loved ones or families. I don't know whether that's answered the question and whether I've slightly evaded the question, but in my
No,
head,
it does make sense a little bit. Right, I want to ask you one question now. From all the invests we've done, you have a few people who stick with you, who have got in contact with you. Mine is a boy called Matthew from when we were at Secunda Manor. He sticks with me. He's one of them that's taking a piece of my heart, basically. He's stuck in there. It's one of those people on an invest you don't get rid of. Have you found any spirit that has kind of stayed with you or made an influence on you and how you work?
Oh, I would say, yeah, I would say a couple, to be fair. I think one I would say was at the house site in Williamson Tuddles, and one of the women came back with me.
Yeah.
And I did notice certain things that I was doing that wasn't. That doesn't feel like me. But I think we went back the week after. And if you remember,
we were there for a few weeks, weren't we, on that one?
That's right. I mentioned it to you, didn't I? And then we managed to move that. She didn't do anything as such, but yeah, I felt she was with me, and I think we put her back where she was meant to be. And just another time, I would say we were doing an invest at Newsham, and we were at the top, and we were doing scrying with some of the guests
by the Naughty Boys corridor.
Like, yeah, you were down the Naughty Boys and we were just in the room opposite, and obviously
I remember that night very well.
Oh, that was frightening, and I think that will always be something that I will remember. That was ominous. That really was.
Yeah.
And we needed two of us, because I needed you to come and aid me and get rid of what was there. Yeah. But that is
because I remember when we did that, because it was the two sisters, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Because I remember saying to you, you'd seen an elderly gentleman, baldy head, very gaunt in the face, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Because the only way I can describe his transition there was he went from that and he went to like Michael Jackson with the nose. And I always say this, it was the nose, you know, when he's had the nose.
It wasn't right. It didn't.
Because then he turned into a skull.
It was a skull.
If you remember that. And then we got her out.
And then this eagle, I saw that, like, was it the eagle across the forehead? And it was horrid.
Yeah, it
didn't
was.
Like it.
It was. We'll never do that again.
Oh, that was frightening. But I think we held it together.
We did well. This just still come with us. Why? I don't know. Right.
That was just a bonus.
Going to move on, and I want to talk about your spiritual work. Now, I know we spoke about this earlier, and you don't, apart from the paranormals, you don't do much spiritual work as in mediumship wise. You don't go out to the churches or do circles or anything like that, but you do tarot.
I'm interested in the tarot. Obviously,
and you do a lot of divination as well.
Yeah, we have the tarot cards, I have the oracle cards, I have pendulums.
You've got your runes.
Yeah, your runes. I also, not with great skill, but the dowsing rods. No, I have done closed circles and open circles, which I thoroughly enjoy. But over the times, it just, other things take over.
Because you're a very busy woman, love.
I am a busy woman.
One thing about you, we cannot track you down to stop you for about 2 minutes.
And life is never boring with me.
We know, and we'll get on to a bit more of that later. Right. Just got a question. Okay. Just going to pop it up there. Do you ever encounter bad spirits? Now, this is going back to our paranormal thing, but it might work with your spiritual as well, because I'm sure when you do readings, you may pick up on things that are not good,
Well,
or maybe outcomes that aren't going to be good.
I believe that if you were good in life, you're good in spirit, and if you weren't the nicest of people in life, then you probably come back as not a nice spirit. So I do think, yes, you can encounter angry spirits, if you like, or it might be just a spirit that just doesn't want you there. So, but yeah, we have encountered spirits that don't necessarily want us in certain places or want us to be there. So out of respect, we'll just back off, because we've had that before, haven't we, Bernard? Where we might get a few through and they're like, do you not want us to be there? And obviously with our closed questions, they're like, no. Okay, we respect you. If you can step back, and we will step back from you. So yeah, you do get them.
Well, this is a good transition, because Ian's asked, how are you going to deal with bad or negative spirits, or aggressive, sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Him to ask that one.
You know what I would do? I'll go, Ian, Bernard. Okay. Well, again, as I just mentioned there, I think we as a person, we need to still give utmost respect. But I think you've also got to be firm in the belief that, listen, I am here. I'm still living. So, can you step back? And I think you've got to be a bit forceful at times, to maybe get those spirits that are playing with you, or, doing something that you don't necessarily want them to do. I think you've got to be a bit more forceful with your words, or having them to go, please, if you could go, and we will step back from you. It's that kind of connection and link, isn't it?
Well, you're all bouncing off people's personalities as well, because obviously if they're passed on, they're not going to come back. I always quote this medium because she always does it fantastic. If she brings a person in and she describes, and they're not going to come back in as a 12-foot Adonis, chiseled abs, golden hair, when they were a fat bald man who loves to drink. No, and I love this quote, because she uses it in that way of, whatever you are on the earth, you're going to come back in spirit.
Yeah. So same with the energy. If you're a good person, you'll come back good. If you're a person that wasn't likable, you'll come back not likable. I believe.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Just a quick one before we move on. Right. Have we ever done 30 East Drive? Now, you haven't, actually, have you?
I haven't, no, but you have. So there you go.
I have. Right. I'm going to be very controversial on this one, because I know a lot of people love this venue. But for me, it's not been as active as I would want it to. Don't get me wrong, we got a few tiny bits. And when you get into the house, you do get that atmosphere of, holy crap, this is that house. Within half an hour, and I think Ian might back me up on this, it's a normal house. Now, be it, we did see a shadow figure in the hallway going to the stairs. We did have as well our laser grid pen. It was on the fireplace, and me, Ian, and Neil was stood talking in the living room. And I think 2 others were on the couch, and that laser grid pen went from the middle of the fireplace on the shelf right into the TV. None of us touched it. All I saw was a little purple light come out of a photo frame, and then it knocked right over. That's the only good bit of evidence I've got from there. Other than that, for me, it's a normal house. But I'd say go, have a try. Maybe it was an off night for us. It might be a better night for you. I don't know. But I think that's one you need to do as well. We might go. We might sleep over there.
Everybody's individual experiences are literally that, aren't they? Individual.
You can't take one night for the next night.
Yeah.
The energy of the team's different. The energy of the building's going to be different on the night. You don't know what's going to happen. Whereas, luckily for us as a team, because we've mingled for so long for those 4 years, and people have come and gone, and we've been grateful for their work and everything. But the core team, we do get together, and we have got that bond Whereas if one of us is off, and going back to the negative spirits, if one of us is off and it's affecting us, we know when to jump in.
Yeah.
I know, because I always get quite aggressive, where I know when Ian's a bit off because he goes quiet and he draws into himself, so you can see the vast changes. To be honest, I don't know actually what you do. You never seem to get any negatives. It's always me and Ian.
Yeah, I'm not being funny. You look at me and think, poor love, I'm not going anywhere near that.
Right, moving on. I'm going to take you to your Reiki and your healing. Now, I know you do. I know you're a qualified Reiki practitioner.
That's correct, yeah.
And I know currently under circumstances you can't go out and do it. You busted your knee,
that's
which was hilarious.
It didn't feel
It's
hilarious.
typical Maz. Just explain what Reiki is, because I'm a bit iffy on healing and Reiki, and for me, it doesn't work for me. But
that is absolutely fine.
Just explain it for us and what the intention is of healing.
Well, you've just said it is an intention. Reiki is it's basically healing your chi. So the chi that runs through your body, which is mainly what the Chinese have, for thousands of years, that flow that you have through your body, Reiki heals that flow, and it unblocks, any blockages that you might have. Some people might have Reiki and not feel anything apart from such a relaxing time, when it really can be very, very relaxing. Other people might feel the energy. They might feel like a tingle or a change in temperature, but it is all, it is all part of it. We ask the universe, or we ask our Reiki masters, who have gone to use us as the channel, and we ask for their healing to come through. So it's not us that does the healing. It's basically the universe and the chi that's out there. We're just a tool. You're just a channel, a tool. I'm always a tool, mate. but yeah, we're just the channel to do it. We just get attuned, to be able to do it. And it's something nice. The more that we heal, or the more that we become a channel to heal, the more healing we get back ourselves. So it's lovely. And I also incorporate sound with mine. I use the Tibetan hand bowls, or the singing bowls, or the Himalayan singing bowls, and they can be placed on or used underneath, because vibrations also heal. Because I do quite a bit with Mo, or Maureen Phillips, which we've both been to your circle. You do, and we've done things there. We work really, really well together. But obviously at this time,
we can't do much.
We can't do a lot. But it's just a really nice, relaxing thing to get into. And I also do that kinetic shift, as Mo does that. that I did on you, which again, it's working with an energy field, an energy force. And I think if you've got somebody that believes in it, I think that does help, having that belief and the want to want to do something, and want to heal, and want to remove certain things from your life or whatever. It's just a really nice thing to get into if you understand it, and if you believe in it. I'm
just going to show you a comment from our lovely co-owner. He doesn't mind people running his hands over him.
Doesn't he?
He doesn't, apparently.
Just say it's. I don't run them. Sometimes I lay them, but I don't run them.
Right. Talking about running your hands over things, I'm going to move on to this.
Okay.
Explain.
Explain my burlesque.
Explain your burlesque.
Right. Okay. Well, yes. I may not look it, but you don't have to be a certain size to do burlesque. I started this. We found out about this burlesque chair dance, and there was a young girl called Marguerite Slane, also known as Miss Tiger Rose, that taught these burlesque chair dance classes, and she is absolutely amazing. She's such a star, and she obviously teaches us a different dance every month. But she's then got us into doing solos and duets and things like that. And we go and perform, and we perform for different charities. So we usually have maybe 2 or 3 performances per year that we do, and we raise money for charities, all thanks to Marguerite, really. She's really got us out of our shells, and we shake our feathers, or we're now on whip cracking as well, so we get the whips out.
I've seen.
Oh yeah.
Please,
I'm not
please
too safe with them yet.
bring them so you can discipline.
Yeah, well, I was out the other day, and I was whip cracking, and Dave was doing the garden, and the neighbour went, "Are you cracking that whip because he's not working hard enough?" Like, that's correct.
The poor man's only just come home. Leave him. Right, I want to move on to your other love of your life,
Which it is, yeah.
the Harmony
So.
Bells.
The Harmony Bells, yeah. I'm in a singing group, and there's 4 of us, and we're an a cappella group mainly. So we do different songs to just having only our voices as tunes. So we all have different harmonies. I think we've been I'm also in a choir, and the Peter Mills, the musical director, he put us together probably about 3 years ago, I think, maybe a little bit longer. And so we've been going for about 4 years. And again, sometimes we'll do gigs and we get paid for it, but we do a lot of charity work as well. Unfortunately, because of obviously the lockdown, we were meant to be singing as a charity for Chester Zoo, for the elephants.
Yeah.
So raising money for the elephants, and that was going to be in May, but we've had to postpone it, unfortunately. And meant to be singing at weddings, and it's such a shame. But we really, really enjoy, getting together, because it's really great for mental health as well. Singing, it takes
nice sing song.
Yeah, it's lovely. Really, really enjoy it. I'm so lucky to have the people I have around me. With yourself, with dancing, with singing. Really,
You've got
really
enough of us. You've got too many.
I have. It's amazing.
Right, just before we finish up, and I'm going to ask everyone who comes on to do this for me. Okay, whether it's through investigations or mediumship or just general day-to-day life, but for you, I want you to give any budding investigator going on an invest, give them the one piece of advice that you would make sure that they knew.
One piece of advice as a budding investigator.
Yeah.
Okay. Has it got to be just one?
I'll let you have 2.
Okay. Well,
that's it.
one really is to be as equipped as you can. So make sure you've got your torch, the batteries, and things like that. But I think the most important thing is to listen to instruction, maybe, because we like to do what do we call it? We like to put a white light around, so we like to do some protection. And a lot of investigators first come in, they think it's a bit silly and they don't want to do it. But just go with the flow and listen. Just listen to what people are saying within your group. And when it's all quiet, just listen intently on what's going on, because you just don't know what you're gonna hear, what you're gonna pick up. So yeah, and enjoy yourself. That's what it's for.
Exactly. That's what we want.
And be respectful.
Go on then. Go on.
No, just to be respectful to the spirit. As much as you can, to be, respectful to them as well.
Right. Well, unfortunately, that is all we've got time for.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me on. And
you're welcome.
Proud.
Can you just give your Facebook pages for the Harmony Bells and for the chair dancing, in case anyone wants to have a go, have a look at it?
Well, the Wirral /Liverpool Burlesque chair dance. That is that's the, I think that's on Facebook and website as well, and it's with Tiger Rose. And the Harmony Bells is, I think, at Harmony Bells 1. But there's I think I don't deal with that side, so I'm not exactly sure. I know we're under the Harmony Bells, but there's like a picture of the 4 of us singing.
We'll put all of it on the
I will find. I'm hopeless.
Facebook.
That was put me on the
We will
spot.
do it all on Facebook. I know, I realised.
It's like, oh, didn't get that prepared, did I?
For anyone who wants to check out any of our videos, we're on YouTube. If you want to check out any of our events when we come back after this lockdown, feel free to go to trinityparanormalteam.co.uk. If anyone wants to look into the mediumship side, go to trinityspiritualistgroup.co.uk. And we've just opened our new shop online, which is trinity-spiritual.myshopify.com. Breathe. Right, Maz, I will see you soon.
Stay safe and well.
We'll leave it there.